Chapter 31 of Psychopomp Drive. Written by Janeen Leese-Taylor. Read aloud by SkyAsimaru. Chapter 31 Love Wins. And they clattered to the earth instead, falling through the space that he had once filled. Finley turned at the sound, ears pricked as he searched the empty space behind him. Reich? The spotlights came on overhead, making the glass in the frames twinkle in the falling missile. He knelt down before them, reaching out with a trembling hand to lift them carefully into the air. Floating on the sea of ink, a red ribbon nudged against the sole of his boot. Reich? He repeated softly, his mind filled with images of Reichardt, the man's fleeting smiles, the laughs that they had shared on patrols, the way he had pulled off his glasses to wipe his eyes when he spoke about the love that he had lost. Finley felt the hands on his sides like they were 1,000 miles away, felt the touch of someone prying his reaper from his cold fingers. The voices of the other Amarini felt so distant, like he was sinking to the bottom of a pool while they were still looking down on him from the surface. He blinked through the haze and realized that he had started to cry. He choked on his tongue as Micah pulled him into her warm arms. "He's gone, my Buffy," she whispered as she stroked his damp hair. "He's gone." He let his pain out against her chest, weeping loudly as he clung to her like a lifeline. His body shook from head to toe, the last of his energy spilling out from every pore. Soothing hands drew patterns along his back, and Alvaro's face next to his ear breathed apologies that were never owed to him. When he pulled back from Micah's embrace, he could see them all around him, the spirits of the in-between, broken and bruised, drenched as the downpour grew steadily heavier. Spectre's eyes glowed as he stepped forward to touch his arm, and he gave him a sad smile.
"You freed her, Finn,"
he assured him.
"The scythe wiped out all of the hollows she had consumed. There's nothing left but her now."
Finley glanced back towards the spot where the destroyer had once been. In place of the black beast was now the small shape of an older woman. She was curled up in the fetal position, as though she were merely sleeping, her red hair draped around her like the broken pieces of a crown. "The pain of losing her followers drove her to this," Micah whispered knowingly. "The in-between twisted those emotions, amplified her frustrations into something monstrous." The silver-haired Amarini stepped away from the other spirits to stand by the dead woman's side. She seemed so small like this, as weak and as fragile as a newborn. Her fingers and toes were turning to dust as the last dregs of her magic left her, the spell sapping her away until there was nothing left. He wondered where she would go now, what awaited her and Reichardt alike in the spaces beyond their comprehension. He wondered if they felt something like peace there, or love. He wondered if their thoughts and feelings could reach them. The cat spirit jumped when he felt a hand on his shoulder, turning to see Alvaro's face leaning close to his.
Let's get you out of here, Unye, he said, and into something dry and warm.
Finley nodded, reaching up to touch the fragile frames in his front pocket.
Yeah, he agreed. I think I'm ready to go home.
There was a general buzz of activity when they arrived back at Psychopomp Drive. Amarini lined the cavernous space, arranging the souls of the deceased into a line that led towards the gentle current of the river Styx. Charon and Anubis stood at its head, comforting those who had been killed and offering assurances as they settled into the wooden boats for the next part of their journey. Flashes of magic interrupted his thoughts as the gods tended to the wounds of their grims, healing the immortal bodies of their dolls with water from the river.
What happens now?
Finley asked, walking behind Saulo's small black form. He had changed back into a cat once the fighting had subsided, leading the Amarini back home again in his original form. His eyes had grown dark at the news of Reichardt's second death, and he had been quiet ever since, flexing and kneading his toes pensively. He let out a soft sigh.
We must get ready for the amnesiac.
What's that? Finley asked.
A spell created by the effects of the Lethe,
the cat explained.
It will help those in the living world to forget, replace their memories with something new and artificial.
Why would you want to make them forget? The young man asked. After all we did for them, after all we're still doing for them.
It is essential if we are to continue with our way of life,
Saulo continued as they approached the door to their own private refuge. He turned his head towards him with a frown, whiskers glistening in the orange-tinted glow of their underground home.
An event like this could affect all of human history going forward. Allowing them to forget is a blessing, believe me.
They pushed into the familiar living room, walking across the well-worn floors with heavy limbs. Pictures created with memory pages lined the papered walls, many with Reichard and his family sealed inside. Finley felt a lump forming in his throat as he reached out to brush his fingers over one of the bronze frames.
And what will they think happened instead? He asked. A terrorist attack? Or a natural disaster?
A virus, Micah explained as she moved past him into the kitchen. She reached for the kettle and filled it, the sound of its boiling a comfort. It will be seen as a tragedy. It will unite the humans together against a common cause, one that will have no one to blame. Abby finished wiping down the metal of her spear as she laid across the sofa. Should we be helping the others? She asked.
There will be plenty of work that will require assistance in the coming hours,
Saulo answered.
For now, try and get some rest. You've all been through enough in the last few weeks.
Finley sniffed as he reached up to swipe away at a falling tear.
Hey, Saulo, is it all right if I go back up to the surface world? I have a few things I need to take care of first.
The cat Grim tilted his head and exchanged a look with the Amarini around him.
Do what you need to do, Finley. Decide if this is still the path you want to take. It'll be understandable if you change your mind after all of this.
The young Amarini bowed his head, closing his eyes.
Thank you, Saulo. Everyone,
he breathed. and straightened as he reached for the door again. When he turned back, the eyes of the other spirits were on him. Their expressions were sad, but full of understanding. They too had lost a brother in arms, a member of their own second family.
"I won't be long,"
he promised, and disappeared out into the night. To be concluded in Chapter 32.